Chapter 1. The Arrival. Stepping into shadows, Marcus's story. As Marcus stands at the threshold of the heavy steel door, its clang reverberates in his chest, marking the abrupt end of his past life. Wrongfully convicted, he enters a world defined by cold walls and harsh realities. The dimly lit corridor stretches before him, flooded with the overwhelming scent of despair and regret. He records his thoughts on a handheld device, his voice trembling yet resolute. This is not just a prison. It's a cage of lost dreams, he confesses, revealing the gnawing isolation that encases him. Memories of his family flash through his mind like a distant echo, a painful reminder of love now beyond reach. Yet, within this sorrow, a flicker of determination ignites. He vows to transform his identity behind bars, believing that even in the darkest of places, the possibility of change can illuminate a path forward. The journey of resilience has only just begun. Chapter 2. Unlikely Friendships. In the heart of the prison yard, where the concrete walls echo with laughter and whispers, Anna's voice breaks through the monotony of confinement. A graffiti artist with a rebellious spirit, Anna recounts her transformation through the vibrant colors she wields. Art was my escape, she reflects, her passion illuminating the bleak surroundings. With each spray of paint on the gray walls, Anna builds connections, turning the prison into a canvas of shared stories. She introduces us to her newfound friends, a tapestry of diverse backgrounds, bonded by adversity and creativity. Through late-night discussions and collaborative art projects, they cultivate understanding that transcends differences. In this haven of expression, they find hope and solidarity amid the chaos of their environment, reminding listeners that even in the darkest places, friendship and creativity can thrive, painting a picture of resilience that inspires the human spirit to soar free. Chapter 3. The Weight of the Past. Reflections from a Lifetime, Elijah's Memories. Elijah's gravelly voice cuts through the silence of his cell as he recounts a lifetime burdened by regret. Every scar tells a story, he begins, reflecting on the violence that marked his youth. Memories flood in, moments of anger, poor choices, and the fleeting thrill of adrenaline, all overshadowed by years of confinement. Listeners are drawn into his world of remorse as he grapples with the question of redemption. Elijah speaks of his family, torn apart by his actions, and the haunting guilt that lingers, like an unwelcome guest in his mind. As he searches for forgiveness within himself, he reveals the flicker of hope ignited by therapy sessions, a desire to break free from the chains of his past. With poignant honesty, Elijah advocates for self-acceptance and the courage to seek change, prompting listeners to reflect, can we ever truly escape our past, or must we learn to carry it forward? Chapter 4. Moments of Solace Behind Bars, Sophia's Perspective. In the heart of the prison, amid the oppressive atmosphere, moments of unexpected kindness shine like stars in the night sky. Sophia, a compassionate nurse visiting the facility regularly, shares her observations of small yet profound acts that illuminate the inmate's humanity. As she walks through the stark corridors, she recounts instances of inmates sharing meager meals during communal gatherings, laughter echoing amidst the somberness, a rare respite from their daily struggles. Sophia describes how one inmate, often seen as tough and unapproachable, quietly mentors younger residents, providing guidance and a sense of belonging. Each act of kindness creates a ripple effect, fostering connection in an environment designed to isolate. Through her eyes, we witness how these moments of compassion not only uplift spirits, but also challenge the pervasive stigma of incarceration, reminding us that even behind bars, empathy can flourish and hope can prevail. Chapter 5. The Power of Education. Learning to Live, the Curriculum of Change. In the hushed environment of the prison classroom, where walls are adorned with faded educational posters, a transformative journey begins. As Marcus shares his experience, the listener feels the palpable shift in atmosphere, the spark of curiosity ignited amidst despair. He recounts how the introduction of educational programs offered both structure and hope, turning idle hours into opportunities for growth. Inmates discuss their favorite subjects, poetry, mathematics, and life skills, revealing a depth of aspiration often overshadowed by their past actions. They talk passionately about dreams that once seemed unattainable, becoming artists, mechanics, or even advocates for change. As Anna reflects, education became our escape, it allowed us to redefine ourselves. Through their stories, the chapter illustrates that knowledge is not just a privilege, but a catalyst for transformation, empowering them to envision futures beyond bars and the chance for reintegration into a world that awaits their return. Chapter 6, The Silence of Isolation. In this poignant chapter, a group of inmates gathers in a dimly lit common area, their voices hushed yet filled with depth as they share their experiences of solitude. As the echoes of their confessions bounce off the cold concrete walls, listeners feel the weight of their vulnerability. Jake, a young inmate, recounts sleepless nights where shadows loom larger than life, each one whispering reminders of lost opportunities. His words reveal an intense struggle with mental health, where isolation amplifies the pain of regret and longing for connection. Next, Miguel reflects on his years in solitary confinement, where silence became both a prison and a refuge. He paints a vivid picture of wrestling with his thoughts, ultimately finding solace in writing poetry, transforming loneliness into artistry. Together, they explore how the shared weight of isolation binds them, forging bonds that transcend their pasts, igniting the sparks of resilience that flicker within even the darkest corners of the prison. Chapter 7, Family Ties. Beyond bars, the impact of family connections. In the hushed corridors of confinement, the voices of loved ones resonate like a lifeline. Inmates share poignant accounts of the emotional challenges of maintaining family ties from behind bars. Malik, a young father, recounts the bittersweet joy of hearing his daughter's laughter over the phone, each call bridging the vast chasm of their separation. He highlights how letters filled with drawings and sweet words keep his hope alive, igniting a fierce determination to be a better man for her. Lisa, whose mother visits weekly, expresses the dual weight of gratitude and heartbreak as she holds her mother's hand, feeling the years slip by. The connection to family not only serves as a reminder of their past lives, but also motivates inmates to change. These heartfelt exchanges reveal that love, despite physical barriers, has the power to heal and inspire within the bleak walls of the prison, fostering a sense of belonging that transcends confinement. Chapter 8, Finding Faith. In a dimly lit chapel within the prison walls, a community forms, bound by shared hardship and the search for meaning. Inmates gather for weekly services led by a compassionate chaplain who believes in the power of hope. Marcus, reflecting on his journey, shares how faith has become his lifeline. "When you're stripped of everything, you find the essence of who you really are," he says. Elijah, too, opens up about his unexpected spiritual awakening. As he clutches a worn Bible, he reveals how the teachings of forgiveness and mercy resonate deeply within him. "I've made mistakes, but I seek solace in the chance to change," he admits. Anna, who increasingly channels her pain through her art, crafts murals depicting biblical stories of redemption, each brushstroke telling a tale of triumph over despair. In this chapter, faith becomes a powerful thread that weaves the inmates' stories together, offering them strength and a renewed sense of purpose as they navigate their turbulent lives behind bars. Chapter 9. Lessons from the Past, Breaking the Chain. In the echoing hallways of confinement, a group of inmates gathers to confront their shared history of violence. As they sit in the stark light of the prison's common room, the air thick with unspoken pain, they begin to vocalize the choices that led them here. Each story unveils a deeply personal struggle, revealing the patterns of anger and despair that perpetuated their cycles of abuse. James, with a voice trembling yet resolute, reflects on the childhood trauma that ignited his path to crime. He speaks of the heavy burden of carrying that pain into adulthood, a cycle that he is determined to break. Together, they explore the possibility of transformation, how therapy and mentorship can serve as lifelines. In this moment of solidarity, they acknowledge that healing begins with awareness, fostering a collective commitment to forge a future free from the shadows of their pasts. Chapter 10. The Role of Rehabilitation. From Confinement to Change, Programmatic Insights. As the heavy chains of isolation clank within the prison walls, a glimmer of hope emerges through structured rehabilitation programs. Inmates share transformative experiences that have reshaped their lives, stories of therapy sessions, skill-building workshops, and group counseling that foster introspection and personal growth. Amidst the harsh environment, we hear from several inmates who have benefited from these initiatives. David, a young man serving time for robbery, speaks passionately about a vocational training program that ignited his interest in carpentry, igniting dreams of a future where he can create rather than destroy. While recounting their struggles, many acknowledge the vital role of dedicated staff members who provide unwavering support and guidance. Listeners are invited to witness how the prison becomes a site of learning and healing, underscoring the profound impact of rehabilitation, hoping to inspire systemic change that prioritizes healing over punishment. Chapter 11, Building Dreams. 12 Planning for Tomorrow, Aspirations Beyond Bars. As the sun rises over the prison yard, the atmosphere buzzes with palpable anticipation. In this intimate chapter, we hear from several inmates, including Marcus, Anna, and Elijah, as they share their dreams and aspirations for life beyond the prison walls. Marcus envisions reuniting with his family and teaching again, hoping to inspire others with his story of resilience. Anna dreams of showcasing her art in public galleries, using her creativity to advocate for change. Elijah, grappling with the weight of his past, expresses a desire to mentor at-risk youth, guiding them away from the path he once walked. Amidst the uncertainty of release, these inmates reflect on how education and personal growth have illuminated their paths forward. Their dreams symbolize hope, the possibility of transformation, rewarding them for their hard-won lessons and the belief that a brighter future awaits, urging listeners to recognize the potential for change in every individual. Chapter 12, Facing Reality. The Fear of Freedom Inmates' Concerns. As the weeks draw closer to release, the atmosphere within the prison shifts, tinged with a mix of anticipation and dread. Inmates gather to share their anxieties about life outside. Marcus, once filled with hopes of reunion, now grapples with self-doubt. Will his family still recognize him? Anna expresses fear of falling back into old habits, the outside world suddenly feeling both familiar and foreign. Elijah, preparing for an uncertain future, reflects on the lessons learned within these walls, but fears that society will never truly forgive his past. As they discuss their swirling emotions, a haunting silence permeates the room. The weight of confinement hangs heavily, contrasting sharply with the imagined freedom that awaits. Together, they confront the reality that while they yearn for liberation, the journey back into society may be their most daunting challenge yet. How does one make peace with old ghosts when stepping into the light? Chapter 13, Forging New Beginnings, Building Bridges, Connections with the Outside. As the days draw closer to their release, the inmates gather for a group discussion about their hopes and fears. Marcus shares his deep-seated anxiety about leaving the only life he has known. The room is filled with a mix of excitement and trepidation, each man contemplating the world that awaits him beyond the prison walls. Anna speaks of her desire to showcase her artwork in galleries, a dream that feels both exhilarating and terrifying. Elijah reflects on reconnecting with family, uncertain of their forgiveness. In this pivotal moment, the inmates form a bond, vowing to support one another as they take their first steps into freedom. Mentorship programs with community organizations are introduced, promising to guide them through the labyrinth of reintegration. As they share resources and contacts, the connection to the outside world begins to feel less daunting, illuminating the path toward rebuilding their lives with hope and resilience.